The Bladensburg Dueling Grounds has always been hard to find, for a very good reason. Set off of modern Bladensburg Road in Colmar Manor, Maryland, the Bladensburg Dueling Ground was well known in the 19th century as a place to settle differences honorably for Washington, D.C.'s politicians. Dueling at the time was considered the preferred method over lawsuits and was not seen as some random gunplay. Men such as Alexander Hamilton and Andrew Jackson engaged in this method to show honor. However, of course, dueling was illegal, which is why they chose this secluded spot. The site was a secluded spot, set below the Tunnicliffe Bridge along the small tributary leading to the eastern branch of the Potomac, today's Anacostia River. This site, too, in August 1814, was where British forces charged up the hill towards Commodore Joshua Barney and his American forces, holding the line before the British could burn Washington. Along with Captain Samuel Miller and Kramer's Prince George's forces, 400 flotillamen and 114 Marines, along with a mixture of militia, made a stand with 5 cannons across Bladensburg Road. Barney would be wounded in the battle and would call for retreat. The modern location includes the stream, which has been channelized by the Army Corps of Engineers and is owned by the Maryland National Capital Parks and Planning Commission. Researchers aren't absolutely certain where the location of the dueling grounds was and may have been further downstream. Located across the Washington, D.C. boundary where dueling was banned and near the little taverns of Bladensburg where duelists could take a drink in the evening before the dawn duel, the Bladensburg Dueling Grounds saw the first duel in 1808. Over 26 recorded duels were fought, not to mention dozens more that were lost to the mists of time. Dueling was an honorable way to resolve differences between the elite. An 1840s-era pamphlet laid out the 39 steps to follow before dueling. The goal was to prove to be a gentleman and to seek alternatives to apologies or lawsuits. Pistols or other weapons were selected, a doctor was hired, and seconds or intermediaries that were served between the parties were pressed into service. Perhaps the most famous of the duels fought at Bladensburg Dueling Grounds was the fight between Commodore Stephen Decatur, one of the Navy's most decorated leaders, and Commodore James Barron, a well-known captain during the Barbary Wars. Their fight started when Decatur served as a judge in Barron's court-martial, but had become much wider. At 9 a.m. on March 22, 1820, the two men squared off and ended, with Barron wounded and Decatur dying. They made peace in the dirt. Decatur would die 10 hours later at Decatur House, which is located next to the White House. The Dueling Grounds today is a quiet little patch of grass off the Bladensburg Road in Colmar Manor, but is one of our heritage area's Maryland milestones.